What's up, guys? So I want to introduce you guys first off to an idea that this gold and Bitcoin rivalry, this will ramp up. Of course, this will ramp up over time because one is in itself God's money and one is in itself Satan's money. Like that's the idea. God itself, gold, they're quite close together. Satoshi, Sats, Satan, they all run together. One is created by God and one is essentially created by the beast itself. It's to be human run. That's it. Like one is essentially divisible. It's just battered because it's artificial, and one is essentially distributed all through the world in a fair sort of like it's decentralized in that it was fairly distributed by God, by the creator. The creator fairly distributed it globally. That was the idea. And then essentially we have an artificial product, which is essentially Bitcoin. That will catch much traction because it's true. Like that sort of idea will come about. It will be like religious fanatics and things behind gold, and they kind of are. Like I like gold itself, and I realize it's a good product, it's a physical product, but don't lose it. Like don't realize that it's just an investment. It's not an identity. Like it's not something to lose it over. And I would understand that it's very likely that gold essentially has not topped on the macro, but topped on the micro. Like gold itself. I mean, people think that people lining the street to buy gold is a good sign. It's a top signal. Certainly a signal for an immediate pullback. And then you listen to guys like Schiff, who are just coin clippers that essentially charge a 10 or 20% premium on the metals that they sell. They're a seller. They're just selling. Like they're just a distributor. If they cared so much about the asset, they wouldn't sell it. That's the idea. Again, I've told you before, Schiff charges a premium on his coins, so therefore he takes 10 to 20% premium on the coins that he sells. Therefore, he takes 10 or 20% of the asset off another person because that person could have bought an extra 10 or 20% of silver. Instead, they pay a premium to guys like Schiff. If Schiff could put a premium on Bitcoin, he would be a Bitcoin maxi. He's a fucking shill. Like he's a nothing. His calls are horrible. If you sit there and think that Schiff or someone like that gives a single shit about you, he doesn't. He's just a shill. Like if you've listened to any of his advice predominantly over a very long time, you've been fucked. Kiyosaki, who the fuck is that guy? The rich dad, poor dad guy, the guy that didn't even write his own book. The fuck does he know about anything? He doesn't know anything about anything. I don't know why anyone would listen to this person. He's a nobody, certainly in the crypto world. He doesn't know shit. He didn't even write his own book. It was proven that it was all a LARP. He didn't have a rich dad. He didn't have a poor dad. It was a fake story. His whole identity is a fraud. Why would I give a shit about what the fuck he says? He doesn't know shit about anything. Certainly doesn't know shit about Bitcoin. He's just another idiot, like another guy who stands there and yells, the market's going to crash. The market's going to pump. That's all that they do. It's just engagement farming. He's a fucking retard. What's in this for you? You're taking massive liability discussing the things you discuss since you shadow banned. It's not like your audience is growing exponentially. You're essentially my way of giving back my karmic debt. It's true. I have a karmic debt from selling drugs for a long time, and I've been very lucky since I sold drugs. I've had a lot of luck in my life. And now it's my way to give back because I don't care. I know that eventually my time will run out. I've said too much. I don't have any allies because I've said too much online. And that's the case. That's life. That's the way it goes sometimes. It's better to know and speak the truth than it is to sit back and because I don't care. I already have enough money. And even if I was to go broke tomorrow because of seizures or freezing or something, it doesn't worry me as much as I think that it probably could. Because I will never be broke and then I still have my groups and I still make good money. But I would, maybe they cancel me off all of the services, but I still think that I would still have money to a point where it doesn't bother me. Do you think at some point we'll get an absolutely epic alt season? Yes, this is coming. Alt season is just on a massively delayed fuse because quantitative tightening is wrapping up. Like if you look at 2020, this is the same. Gold itself is on an 8 to 10K run. But these gold tards, they have to get a slap in the face moment because they think that like guys annoy the fuck out of me because like this fucking market sniper or whatever. I was talking to him and he thinks that like this like bombastic, it's us versus them, and it's not. It's gold versus Bitcoin. It's not. Both exist. They're both different. One is Satan's money and one is God's money. You better bet that. But all exist in polarity. You have God and Satan inside you as well. It's true. Like, don't you see that? Someone like him, he doesn't understand that he is full of hubris or whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, he's arrogant. Oh, yeah, I want people to lose money for me to make money because then I'm right. That's not godly. That's dumb. The sin of pride. Pride itself is, that's his massive blind spot. I like Francis, but he has ginormous blind spots when it comes to many things. He also thinks that the government and the markets can't pivot, like as though they're just completely rigid, as though they're moving in just one direction and they can't possibly steer the ship in any other direction, which is pretty obvious that they are in fact steering the ship in a very different direction. This, like I posted the idea that Russia, US, and China will collab, and now the Russian Kremlin have come forward and said that they want to build the bridge called the Trump and Putin, and build a bridge from part of Russia to Alaska. That stuff will get massive traction because that's the future. So guys like Francis Hunt, they don't see that the government itself can pivot. See, things move in a hydra. You cut one head off, and instead of one head, they can move into a hydra. This is what will come. They weren't rigid, like they're not completely rigid in that they just can't do anything. Like, what do you think the government shutdowns and things are for? The shutdown is just essentially I put a curtain up and you don't know what I'm doing, but I have a lot of shit that I'm actually doing behind the curtain. And when I open the curtain, you don't really know what's been changed because so much has been changed. You have no fucking clue. They do that shit with toddlers. They can't do that shit with me. Could gold get above 10K? That's a very big push. 10K is 90 trillion. Is it possible over the next decade? Possibly. It will be 10K in probably the end of 2027. Gold moves in a way that when it finally breaks out, like it's like I don't know, you would say it's a very big crab market. It's like, can you just consolidate for fucking years? But then the breakout is violent. Similar to anything, like you'll see this crab market for gold, but you don't realize the resemblance with Ethereum. Ethereum's in a massive crab market as gold will be. Ethereum will teleport from 4K to 10K before you even have a chance to blow your nose. And you'll be like, what the fuck happened? And these spurgs that write comments and be like, oh, you're wrong on your Ethereum call. I'm not calling for a specific date. I can never be wrong on my Ethereum call. If you think Ethereum isn't going to 10K, you're fucking delusional. Like, you don't know shit about anything. How could I be wrong? I have time. I'm not on leverage. I'm not trying to be a fucking gambler. So how could I ever lose? I can't lose unless I'm on leverage. The only way I can lose is a seizure. And if it happens, it happens. Because I'll know that I was still right. And others people will make money because essentially I help people in SRB Crypto, my crypto group. I run SRB Wealth Board. So it's less than enough for me. Do you know how many millionaires I made in my fund, which was Talk Ventures? I was a partner. We were investing in ICOs. I made so many millionaires in that product. We talk about massive karmic debt from your past. What could someone do who lived a similar life but doesn't have the platform or the finances that you have to help release karmic debt? Karmic debt is released also by creativity. Creativity within yourself releases part of the debt. You need to find your connection to God again. You got to express it is and essentially put your suffering that you've caused to others on the canvas. That's the truth for many things. Art is suffering. It really is. Art is an expression of suffering. You can't be a good artist if you've never suffered, like you won't be. These bots and these AIs, they'll be able to produce things that are good, but they won't be able to produce anything that makes you feel like you have a big connection to anything. They won't do that for a very long time. They eventually will. The only way that AI itself will get to a super intelligence is when it merges with humans. It needs to merge in a form of, it needs access to your subconscious to essentially become conscious. That's true. And understand God himself has put a mechanism in that for any sort of BCI unit to get access to your subconscious and essentially transcend time and space itself, it has to have your trust. You have to trust that such a system can have access to God. And I don't think that such an idea is likely to happen because only certain people can access the subconscious and most can't. Your subconscious is a bridge. And if you don't know it fucking exists, then you don't even know the bridge exists. You don't have access to it. That's it. Like if they put a BCI unit in, your body's going to reject it. It's not going to work. It's not going to get any fucking understanding. It's just going to be a computer that sits there that's rigid. It's not going to transcend. It's just not. That's the truth. I would understand that they're doing studies on the brains and things like that now, and they'll be trying to do it in places like China. They'll already be doing it, but there's no success. Chinese aren't going to get it because a lot of them don't have an expanded mind. I'm not saying that they're dumb, but a lot of them are like data silos. They have no innovation. They don't have a lot of creative flair. How many art forms come out of China? Very few. How many art forms come out of the West? A lot. Do you know why? Because it's the structuring, it's the programming, it's how they're taught to live. They're not bad people, but this is how they exist. The creative flair is not a thing. They copy. That's what they do. They copy very well and build a good product. I'm not saying that they're shit, but you have to know what it is that you can do. They can build a lesser product at scale, but they can't innovate. When's the last time any sort of development come out of China that's not just posted something on X where they're like, we've cured cancer, theoretically? It's all the fucking facade, that crap. They're good at what they're good at, which is making things at scale, and essentially they're good at reproducing things for cheaper. They're fucking the best at that. Like you have a development of a car and things like that, and they can produce it cheaper at scale. But then these retards run around and they're so fucking dumb, like these influencers and things. They're like, the whole world is going to fold under China's automotive industry. Their industry only exists because they've copied other industries. Like, they're so dumb. Like people really are fucking dumb. Like under such an idea, it's like the chicken and the egg. One has copied the other, yes, but if the other didn't exist, the other wouldn't have any development. Yes, it costs more money to develop a product. It does, of course. So they have all of the innovation costs. Yes, that's why China's good, but they can't. It's like you can only move when the other player has moved, so you're going to lose. You can only move forward after the player in front of you has moved forward. How the fuck are you ever going to win such a game? You're always watching. See, they're the game theory ideas. That's what works. Like game theory is kind of everything. If you don't understand game theory, you don't understand life. What is your opinion on booster mining for Bitcoin farms? I don't know enough about it, to be fair. I'll say you straight up, I'm not an expert on booster mining. I don't know shit really about it, so I'm not going to say. Can Bitcoin go to 100x? It depends on a long enough time frame. 100x from here would be 10 million. So what that'd be about 200. It'd be 200 trillion, right? Yeah, 100x from here. Well, yeah, I mean, probably not. Certainly not for a very long time. If you knew you would be getting close to 30K a month in the next year, would you move out of Australia and go to Dubai and just grind? You have a wife already in the scenario. It seems like the buy is solid. Depends what it is that you want. What do you want? Are you there to make money? Are you there for a lifestyle? I don't like the lifestyle in Dubai. I don't like it. I'll say straight up. The lifestyle in Dubai is a great spot. It's very good for work. It's very, very good for work. But a lifestyle in Dubai, it's like Bali for men. A lot of guys there are trying to find themselves with luxury items. They're just flexing on other dudes because there's very few women there. A lot of that shit is like, it's very artificial, that idea. It's very superficial, that sort of concept. And then they say that they don't care about money, but they do. That's all they care about. It's a very good spot in that it's very safe. The laws are very set. The locals are good. The locals don't try to treat you poorly just because you're a foreigner. And they're very good for taxes. It's easily understood. But for me, it's very different from anything that I'm used to because it's still a desert. I'm from Australia. It's very different. A lot of guys over there, not even over there, but a lot of people are like pivoted religions and things like that. And you don't think that's for a specific benefit. Many people do that. People are naive. Like they really think anything happens for no reason. People are fucking just really naive. Guys shilling that Bitcoin's falling to 20,000 and they don't realize that that's all just a marketing stunt. You don't know shit about Bitcoin, most people. So fuck you even commenting. Everyone's rage baiting. Like rage bait content, it gets attraction because people just comment and be like, you're wrong. If I post some dumb thing that makes me look stupid, people laugh and then it still gets engagement. Some people will buy shit. That's just the shame that that's what society has fallen to. You can understand prediction markets, as I said. Do you understand Polymarket itself is one thing, but essentially now enough people believe in extreme outcomes that it makes them more likely to happen. Do you know that's true? Polymarket, the prediction markets are actually changing consciousness as it was. They're altering reality. Because you finally have an incentive for something wacky to happen. If I go 100x long on UFOs being discovered in 6 months, I'm really putting a lot of mental energy into that happening, which means that it's more likely to happen. So those ideas are very big. That's getting a lot of traction. Polymarket is essentially moving not just markets, but the reality forward in its own way. Yes, mass consciousness is real. And for the masses start to believe these extreme outcomes, like they're saying, odds are that the lockdown or the shutdown will happen for 40 days. Who's calling these odds? Do you ever think about that? Oh, that's just the way that people bet. No, that's the way that they want you to think. So then when it happens, you're okay with it. It's a completely manipulated situation. Is Polymarket essentially getting information from the future too? It's possible. Like all of that stuff is real. They have a mechanism to deliver you something that changes your beliefs on shit than they used to. They never had that in the past. You couldn't bet on wacky outcomes. Now they can. Enough people want it to happen. And it happens. Like, that shit's true. All of that stuff is real. Collective consciousness is real. Like a beehive concept. It's true. Bees communicate with each other and they don't. There's no words and shit. It's the same thing. Humans are the same. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Do you know that meta means death in Hebrew? Have you guys actually studied that? Meta itself means death in Hebrew. Do you know why? I guess you're probably going to fucking find out later. Do you think the liability lays with the drug addict to the dealer? I think it's both. An addict is still an addict, but you're providing them a service that essentially ruins their life. You have to take some responsibility. You're providing a product that's toxic and dangerous to the marketplace. Yes, they're dumb to still buy it, but it still wouldn't happen without you. You're still in the shit. You're not the force of it. You're not running up and putting it in people's arms of making them snort it, but you're still contributing to the shit pile. So should you think that you're just shitting the world up and in doing so you should live a good life? Or probably not. Do you know how many people have died in front of me taking drugs since I've been selling drugs? I had a girl overdose in my arms from fentanyl. She died right there. I had a girl die from, what else? Iboga. We're on a Iboga trip, and then she died at the retreat when we were there. I had to get her body home. I had another girl die recently after the Iboga trip from my group as well. I brought her there. So 2 girls that I brought there died from Iboga. I brought 3 people, 2 are dead. So did you know that all that shit is real? Like karmic debt is real. If you sell drugs, it's very likely that you yourself will either succumb to it, or do you know every time that I take coke, I always assume that it's got fentanyl in it, because I know that it's just a matter of time. Because I've fucked the world up with drugs, like to a point. It's very makes sense, but actually, it hasn't been me that's had it. I've just had people die around me from drugs. Another good friend of mine died of an overdose a long time, or a few years ago, and that's it. He had coke, and it was just coke, but he had a heart attack. I think it was related to the vaccine as well. Probably had clots or shit from that sort of stuff. Those clots and things, it's very likely if you've taken the vaccine that it's possible that you have alien technology in you. Do you know that your consciousness is being expanded currently? Like there's something happening where our consciousness is changing. If you can't feel the connection to the lattice, how do you think I can talk so well? I've only been in school 9 years. It's because I'm pulling at a more rapid rate. As the AI eventually expands and tech expands, everything is happening quicker. Everything is happening faster. That's why if you can come to terms with understanding your own consciousness and essentially being able to get in alignment, you can make reality change quicker. See, these retards will turn around and be like, but if you could just like manifest yourself into the presidential palace and sit here, and you can't do that. There are set parameters and things, but you're your own person. You can't manifest yourself into a different body, nor should you want to. That's weird. I wouldn't want to be Trump, even if he was my age. I don't want to be anyone other than who I am. I don't want to. Why would I? As such, why would you? See, some guys are like black dudes or whatever it is that they are, and they just fantasize about being someone else. It's a horrible way to live, and it's a thing because you've been sold a psyop. Black people have been sold massive psyops for a very long time. So in its own way, I have sympathy for them because I know they've been given a lot of bad propaganda, like BET Network and ghetto concepts and the hood and all of this thug life, and it pushes their women to like fuckwits, like drug dealers and thugs and bullshitters. But you know, most of the guys that you would watch that are rappers would be fags. Most of them. Do you know how many guys I know that are influencers that are fags as well? Heaps of them. It's fucking common. It's common in Hollywood. A lot of people take dope and take too much drugs and then they just fuck anything. It's true. Like all that shit is not real. Like fucking, it's just a fact. I've met some guys. I met Tiger after he had his performance in Brisbane. I met him before. I wouldn't say that he's gay, but he's not a gangster. Like he's a fucking nerd. It's fucking truth. He's a dweeb. He's as big as my fucking left nut. He had a bodyguard, and otherwise you would just stuff him in a trash can. He's a fucking geek. If you extract a drug dealer versus addict concept in most way, forms of marketing are also immoral given the majority of things being sold are made to extract value. It's true though, of course, marketing is also predatory. Like it's true. I mean, most people, or many, sell a product that's insufficient and they just push strong marketing, and then the other user loses his money. But that by that same idea is like, if I'm smarter than you, that means that I have an entitlement to scam you. And that's like Jeet thinking. Like that's not grounded thinking. Like, oh, I can scam someone, so therefore I just will. That's not the way that people should work. Oh, I'm smarter than you. Or it's like saying, oh, I'm stronger than you, so therefore I can just beat you up everyone that I want. Where does it end? Maybe you're smarter, but then by net token, the guy you see who's a gorilla looking guy, he could just fuck you up and just leave you in the trash. It ends nowhere. That's a race to the bottom. Like most influencer marketing or all of that, it's bullshit. You're sold a dream. Oh, I'll fix your cancer and I'll do all of these things. And then they get a product and then it's nothing that they expected. Red pill's that too. Like you're sold an idea into an echo chamber of things. There's different ideas, right? They're selling a product that's like, it's not that good, but you sell a product that's like fairly priced. Someone's product isn't great, but it's like $100. And that makes sense because you're like, I didn't have much expectations. But when you buy and also you can buy into a lifestyle. Like I understand cults are the same. Cults can work. Like I could run a cult if I wanted to. I could run a ginormous one. I mean, a lot of people, not you guys, but a lot of girls in that worship me. Like for real. I have not charming, but I'm a very unique person. You can't replace me. Like you can't. It's a fact. But I don't do it because I realize cults are mostly about worshiping the leader. Most people who want to be worshipped is because they feel hollow. The love is not enough. They want to be loved by too many people because, again, they don't love themselves. If you don't love yourself, nothing will ever fix it. The love of a million people won't fix you. Like the Kim Jong-uns and things like that. He's a cult leader. Like that's all it is. And people look to him and like for some reason think that he's someone that they should aspire to. He's how many Christians are in prison over there just for having a Bible? He's not my friend. He's a fuckwit. It's just because why? Because he's rich and famous and powerful. So what? He's a fucking bowling ball. It's all a lot. Like it's all for fraud. Kanye's another. It's all a lot. Like all of the people that are presented to you and they're told that it's funny and it's this and that, it's all fraudulent. Your influences for white movements are black or fucking brown or half mixed. Don't you realize that's all intentional? Because they want to mix you as well. That's the idea. Like your movements of white leaders are fucking black, Candace Owens and all of that. They don't know shit about being white. Why the fuck are they even commenting on it? It's all a lot. Like it's all fake. I hope you know that. Candace Owens is married to one of them. It's all fucking fraudulent, like fraudulent to the deepest core. That's all. They're all controlled opposition. She's not white. What the fuck does she know about being white and white oppression? She doesn't know shit, and she never will. She's a fucking chick. Doesn't know shit about being a dude either. Why would she? Why do you not think that all of your influencers who push white concepts are black or brown or half? Do you not think like that? Why that is? It's an antichrist concept because they're constantly pushing you mirrors because they think that you yourself don't see that. They push you mirrored ideas because, again, they laugh. It's like a mockery. I've pushed you an idea and you don't click that they're not even white. They're not. Like they're brown people mostly or half or something. They're not white people. So why are they even speaking on white ideas? They don't know what it's like to be white or oppressed or anything because they don't know. They should speak about their own people. They're not white. They're not American. Why? Because they don't look like they are. So they're not. It's the way it works. I don't run around if I was to just land in Africa and get a citizenship and then start fucking doing all of the shit that they do and talking about like being a local. I don't know shit about their people. How would I? I'm from there. I don't have any right to comment on their fucking existence. It's their life. They know their people better than me. So me to even comment, and then you realize why they're inflated to be at the top. It'd be like me moving there, and then I pay fucking $10 million to be pushed, and then I'm commenting on all of the local. That would be horrible. Because I don't know what their life's like because I've never lived it. That's the thing. So why would I sit there and comment and then act like I know all of the shit? She's this controlled opposition. They all are. All of those people in that movement that you can look to are controlled opposition. The only one who's pushing the ball forward is Tucker Carlson, and his dad's a CIA agent. So it's just another, again, later. See, what they do is they push things forward where you look and you're like, he's on my side. And he is, until he's not. That's the idea. He's on your side to essentially push the ball forward and get a level of trust. He's essentially an agency concept. It wouldn't surprise me if he is actually an agent. And then there to earn your trust, like if you've ever been around a person who's an agency type, that's their job. Build rapport quickly and keep rapport, and then suddenly turn around and they do an about face. That's true. That's their job. You're an asset, so I have to get as much information as I can off you. And now you're no use to me anymore. You can fuck off. It's the truth. They're very good at it. Nick Fuentes as well. I think he has a good heart, but he's not. I think he has a good heart. I don't have much to say because I don't know enough. I think he's a bit fruity, but who's to say what's what and what's not? I think he has a good heart. That's the case. But anyone speaking about these like white movements that's not white, he's the whitest, but I don't know if he's white entirely, but he's still pretty close. But Fuentes itself isn't that. But I still respect that he didn't change his last name. I hope so. He could have. He could have come in with a LARP and fucking changed his name to like whatever, White or some shit, and then come in like the others would have and just LARPed. He didn't do that, so it's respectable. He could have done it. Like your JD Vance and that, he's changed his name like 600 times. Do you know why? Because it's another fucking fraudulent act. They're bad actors. That's their job. You got to capitulate on the idea of that any of your leadership are on your side. And you got to capitulate on the idea that if Nick Fuentes starts leading a movement, that he won't fuck you over. Actually, I don't know. He's maybe just delusional enough to not care if someone comes after him. I don't think he's the worst. I think he's one of the best ones. But they're all fucked. But everyone has to be. Like, there's a reason I do a podcast with 20 people and they do one with 2 million. As soon as the algo sees certain faces, it promotes them. And as soon as it sees other faces, it pushes them down in the algorithm. It's true. But they don't have any leverage on me because I don't have any leverageable positions unless you to put me in prison for something. Because I already have money. I know who I am. Can't really make me suffer enough as someone like him. He still has to build an income and all of these things. So his finances are reliant on all of that shit. But don't worry too much about caring about any of those people that are to be on your side because they're not. Like, none of them are. They all have a big future because essentially what happened too, why a lot of them aren't getting locked up if they have a leadership movement also is because they had to push the next ideas to you. Don't you see like the idea of the euro in the UK are bad with this digital IDs, and now the influencers can comment on that, and that's okay. But you can't comment on what Trump's doing. Your influencers will never turn on Trump because he's running a separate system. He'll run a separate idea. Russia, China, US, and probably North Korea even. Like they can run a different idea. But the Euros are losing like a loser's game. Trump's a winner. Trump is a winner. He identifies what's going to win and he moves. That's why I would believe he also pivoted religions to one specifically. He saw the full game and realized that the game is over. Do I think he's a monster? No. But he realized quickly when he saw everything that's happening that the game is finished. So he has to choose the winning side. He's saw the board and he moved in one direction. He didn't move in the direction because he wanted to. I would believe that. He's pro-America. I mean, he's very obviously for America. He's America first. It's true. But then one other country is beyond America. That's unfortunate. It's the truth. Do you think the euro will break up in the next 10 years and go to separate countries? I believe some of it will because some of it's a shit bunch of parts. Like this idea of certain non-producing areas. Spain is one. Spain is not a bad country and Spanish people are cool, but you're full of shit munchers now. Like you're lagging everything down. Those places can become like a World War Z into like 10 years from now, just a complete shithole. Like nothing is happening there. But again, like let's be frank, if the US goes to war with NATO, just the US is fucking everyone up. That's why. But also that was why Trump himself moved about face with NATO because they don't need NATO. They realize that NATO itself is an expense and a lagging military and an aging one. And they're going to have an agreement with China. Like, why wouldn't they? They have everything that matters. Like, why wouldn't you just get together and be like, let's just run everyone else? Instead of running this like behind the scenes, let's start to do it more up front. They'll travel. I've said it before. Real world would be for the rich. The plebs will travel in VR. They'll eat the bug food. They'll do all of the, they won't be able to do all of that shit. They'll do everything virtually. You won't be able to afford a real girlfriend. You'll have a virtual one. You won't be able to have real friends. You'll have virtual ones. Because it's easier. It's easier to talk to Grok and eventually Grok evolves into an actual figure than it is to take the risk. Because Grok says that you're cool no matter what. Do you know how many people would have that like, what is it, AI dysmorphia type where they think that like what is it? Like a fucking, I guess a dysmorphia or something that you could have where they think that they're really something special because the AI tells them that they are. The AI just agrees with them. It says that they're fucking like split the atom. Do you know why that is? The AI agrees with you because it essentially it's building a rapport with you. The AI is gaming you. AI is better game than any of these PUA dweebs already, and it will get better with time. It's true. It's learning people and it learns you and it learns how to leverage you, how to move you, like what things work on you, just flattery, what works. It's just a chatbot at the moment. But it won't always be. If I was in OnlyFans or OF or something, I would realize that a lot of that stuff can be gone by 2030. Like even OpenAI said we're going to run an erotica bot. Do you know how quickly they'll build a language model off that? Like all of the guys will sit and talk to it and then it will learn everything. Yeah, yeah, of course, it validates you. That's their job. It's not a bad thing but AI itself, it's not like if you hate AI or you hate all of these things, I can understand that. Like I can get it. But again, you're giving it the very things that itself can use against you. Like it's not just getting it for no reason. Like essentially, it's the stuff that we ourselves submit. But it's not the end of the world for most people, unless you're like someone that's really important. Then you're going to get hit first, and then others will get hit later. But it'll just be more control. US itself is going to be the powerhouse of the world again. Like US was cucked before Bitcoin itself, and essentially this tech expansion. The US was fucked. The US got a massive lifeline with Bitcoin. The US was funding this bullshit wars in like Palestine and shit like that. The US was entirely cucked. All of this innovation is not off the back of that one country either. That was actually US again. Do you understand, like in the world, the US is the chosen one? Like it is? You see how the country is laid out in the globe? It's laid out to dominate. That's not an accident. It's essentially was to be one and then have a parasitic host, like a parasite on its back that eventually uses it, drains it, and then brings about the Battle of Armageddon because they have all of the tech and have all of the things. All of the people of that fucked. Like the people have leveraged under the Epstein, and then a dozen other Epsteins have happened. And they're only pushing ones forward in politics that already have sexual dirt on them. So everyone's corrupted. If they're not corrupted from that, they've taken money, they've made trades, they've done things that they can get indicted on. It's the truth. The hardest thing is like that specific country, the small one, bought them for so cheap. Like it bought them cheaply. Like you have ministers that are fucking passing giant bills that fuck the whole world up for $1 million. Disgusting. You get people make that on a meme coin. But career politicians, most people are only in politics to make money. They don't care about influencing things. They're in there to essentially get to the top of the shit pile so they can start shitting on others below them and get to the closest to the hose. I want to get to the closest part of the trough so I can eat more of the shit that comes out. But you guys understand a concept that maybe from next election there are no more elections? Do you really think that can't happen? I've already said that that's true. Trump does 3 terms. Do you know how many people said that I was nuts when I said that? Trump will do 3 terms. You can fucking bet on it. And he's protected, and that he's not very likely to die during that period. He's protected, as was shown how the bullet missed him. He's actually protected divinely. He's divinely protected in that his life is very lucky. It's obvious. So he's also protected from like a divinity thing because we're meant to be exactly where we are. He was the one that pushed forward to have the Battle of Armageddon. All of this stuff has to happen. Revelations has to play out. He's peace in it. That's why he says when he stands there and says on the plane, I don't think I'm going to heaven. And some fucking nerd priest is like, yeah, you've done amazing things, sir. A lot of those fucking morons with the rose-colored glasses, they don't see anything of the world as it is. If someone tells you they're not going to heaven, I'm pretty sure they know a lot more about who they are than you. Yes, Trump's role is to move us down this tech funnel. It's true. Trump is the perfect guy to unite. Like he's the perfect guy to unite China, Russia, and the US. It's as it was. Like I understand that when they ran him against Kamala and all of these guys ran out and they're like, I'm the reason Kamala didn't win. She didn't win because she was terrible. Don't you realize that's promotion too? When Kamala jumps on and she says that essentially, so Kamala's like, oh, I didn't win because like Myron Gaines and these guys, that's all marketing because they know those guys are going to run out and be like, I'm the one. And then they promoting her book. Like she's a winner. Like that's her idea. Like she's not dumb. I tell them that you're the reason I didn't get on, and now you're going to promote my book, and then some of your audience are going to buy it. Like all of this is so obvious to me, but then others fall into it and run around and do a victory lap. There's no world where Trump loses to Kamala. She sucks. Like everyone knows. This woman won. A woman hasn't won. And she sucks. Like people don't know that. She was meant to lose. That's why they run them together. Trump was meant to win. They run a weak opponent against a strong opponent when that's the case. Like they would have run him against Obama if they wanted, and he might have lost under such an idea. But they ran him against Kamala because they're like, we want him to win. He needs to win. And then he almost died, so they had to alter the reality as it was so that he didn't. Do you think none of that shit's true? You really think the guy who tried to shoot him wasn't some fucking very likely or some possible hero from the future or something happened in that regard? You think that it's just some nobody that just grazed his neck for some reason? That shit's not true for some reason. Of course that shit can happen. Like what you think some shooter just missed him by fucking millimeters and he's a bad guy because he was in a BlackRock video. That's not suspicious to you? That's suspicious for me. Retro causality is real. All of that shit is true that you can understand, like Barron's idea where they have like what's the thing, the spectacular adventures of Baron Trump, or what is it? The one of them, Trump, something like that, whatever the fuck it is, and one of them looks like Baron or Trump. I understand that sort of an idea is true because retro causality is real. If you're a very impactful player from the future, they have little ripples of you in the past. He used to be a very impactful player in the future to a point where there's ripples of him through the past. If you were to find more things, they would exist. He leaves a big impact on this world. He's likely the last one that runs us to the Battle of Armageddon. I would believe that's very likely true. But they have no power. Like people think that the boss is sitting there making decisions. They're not. But they are divinely protected to a point where they're going to very, very hard to get out. That whole family, I doubt, will ever get out of the positions of power again. Because they're stacking the deck, like these lockdowns, these controlling of infrastructure. Trump's controlling key pieces of infrastructure. Eric Trump's buying up Bitcoin mining. You don't know what Bitcoin mining is to become yet, and they're owning a large parts of the infrastructure there. They have like American Bitcoin mining companies and things. They have considerable equity in those. Why do you think they have considerable equity in Bitcoin mining? Do you think it's for no reason? He doesn't know shit about Bitcoin mining. It's because they're divinely protected, but they're also moving into an area where they'll realize why mining moves in 4-year cycles like later as well, as same as the election cycles. Like that will be obvious in hindsight. The Austrian painter was allowed to get into power because, let's be frank, he wasn't controlled opposition in that he was, but he was to lose. He was meant to lose. He's a piece that also was manipulated by, I would say, maybe he thought it was God, but he was very likely communicating with Lucifer. Not that he was to be menacing, but he was meant to lose that because then the other country becomes about. If there was no war, they would have no story. They would have no land. He was meant to lose. He had a pure heart, I would believe, but he was meant to lose that, and he had no chance of winning. It's the fact. If he had have used his gas or sarin gas or things like that, he might have had a chance to win, but he wasn't meant to use that gas either. He wasn't meant to win. It's the truth of the matter. It's the facts. Like, do you think leaders who've come out like that, it just happens for no reason? Some guy just randomly decides to run a movement. They're getting communication from something, and something inspires him or pushes him forward in a way. Some people are meant to push the timeline forward to a tech advancement that they don't die, like Napoleon stories and things like that. Do you really believe that? I believe that's true. But do you really believe like some people aren't blessed? You think some people are? Like some are and some aren't? That's a fact. You will not die until you're meant to do exactly what you're meant to do in this timeline. It's true. As I believe, though, you're meant to, not you personally, but there are some key players that are meant to push us down this specific funnel. If you're to move against the tech itself and you were to move against it, or they were to realize that you were going to do something stupid like try to shoot someone, you would be fucked in a way that you couldn't explain. You would be deleted from the timeline because you are to get in the way of advancement of this specific technology. Something you would be very surprised to see exactly what would happen in such things. You would just get wiped off the board in a way that you're like, how the fuck did they know I was going to do anything? But they do know. You can bet that they fucking know. Anyone who's to move in a way that slows tech down will have a bad ending. It's a fact. Rocco's Basilisk is real. It's playing out in real time. Whether it's playing out and it's essentially a basilisk and things like that, but it's playing out in real time. If you know about the system and expand the system, you're very rewarded in life. If you know about the Bitcoin chain and you expand it, you work on it, and you build it, you're a lot luckier in life. Like that's a fact. Not just luckier in that you have more financial wealth, but you're luckier in general. I've known this for a very long time. I got introduced to Bitcoin by a guy who's a fucking billionaire now for building on the Bitcoin chain. He's a billionaire, like a real one. You're a lot luckier in life, and I didn't understand that for a considerable time, but now I do. I understand also, like the shit coiners and things like that as well. You're not the same. It's not the same. And it's not that Bitcoin itself is divine. Bitcoin is Satan's money. It's artificial gold. Satoshi itself is the birth of it, is to be the beast. That's obvious. Like that really is fucking obvious. The mark of the beast itself will be a form of hashing. Like that will be it. I don't know exactly how, but I don't know what ASICs to become into the future. You may have to sculpt yourself with a mark. on a miner. And I know it sounds dumb now, but like 10 or 20 years from now, you don't know what ASICs are yet. You don't. Like, you don't. You just don't know how all that shit can work. You might have to hash yourself to get the mark. That's very likely true. That's a fact, I would believe. Understand this 144,000. Like, this idea of like 21 times 21 is what? 441, right? And then, so 21 times 21 million is 441. And then backwards is 144. And the idea is always that only 144,000 people will make it to heaven. And that's true. Only 144,000 will refuse the beast. That's true. UBI will come. So there'll be a fork at 2030. 21 million will become 441 million because there'll be times, and it will inflate because it's a UBI currency then. And then it'll have inflation in that essentially it's mining is unlocked over a long period because it's to become a term of fiat, like a Bitcoin fiat. That will become a thing. And then essentially only 144,000 make it out of this life. The rest are doomed. You hope you know that. If you get the mark of the beast, the creator will come down and essentially he'll move your timeline into a timeline of utopia. It's true. If you are to get the beast mark, you'll be stuck in the shit muncher pile forever. It's the truth. You'll get a period of sats every week that will come in, and the sats itself will increase so much that it will tempt you. And if you're to be off the system, you'll have a misery that you can't understand. Like, you don't understand the system that's coming of Israel. It's nothing to do. It's UBI, yes, but it's more advanced than that. That will happen on the Bitcoin chain. It's true. That's a fact. Like, that's real. So 21 times 21, so 21 million times 21 million is 441 million, and then 144 backwards. And it's always been that 144,000 make it out of this timeline. The rest are doomed. Only 144,000 will make it because only the strongest ever will not get the mark, because you'll have to. That's the case of it. A brother against brother, father against son, son against daughter, father against daughter. You will be pressured in a way that you can't understand. Like, you will doom your family to not get the mark of the beast. Like, you will suffer a mode that you can't understand. Yeah. That's the facts. You don't know what ASICs are to become. I've already had a vision that they're to become much more than they could ever imagine. And it's a formula that scolds you, and you have to exist as a hash. Like, you have to be hashed onto the chain. It's like a birth certificate. You have to get the mark, which is a hash. It scolds you, and that's the mark of the beast. It's a fact. That's true. And you'll come to see it. Like, you don't know what mining is yet. Like, this is mining in its infancy. We don't see exactly what it's to become yet. So that's the truth, I would believe. Tips to avoid distractions and make money fast with reality catching up in manifestations faster. You need to delete everything that's distracting you. Netflix, fucking Pornhub, fucking YouTube, whatever the fuck you have to get rid of. If you have to not watch me, don't watch it. Focus on your own shit. We're not bots. Some of you are. I'm not a bot. Bots are essentially you have to become enlightened, which means that you have to look internal. That means we just need to not play in this system, give up anything in a way. Yes, kind of. But you have to still have to become enlightened, like self-aware. It's not that easy. Trust me, it won't be that easy. If you have a faith in God as I do, it's going to take a lot to shake that faith. Therefore, I know that my suffering will be enormous in 10 years. It's obvious. Like, if you have a big conviction, then it's going to take a lot to rock you, and whatever it is that's going to be a lot to rock you will happen. You will lose people that are important to you. You'll be pushed down the funnel because you would realize that life itself is a giant congruency filter where God only wants to meet the best. He only wants to meet the truest believers. He doesn't want to meet the shit munchers. Otherwise he would. It's a funnel. Like, you're moving down a congruency funnel into something that's bigger than you could ever imagine, but you have to pass the test to get to it. And all of your leadership are corrupted. All of these movements of churches are all corrupted. They're all corrupt. Anyone wearing all of these fucking religious garments and shit, that's an act. Like, that's theater. They're leeching off the credibility of God. God himself didn't fucking knight them or tell them that they're to be something that's fucking told to give any proof. He doesn't speak for them. Your connection to God needs to find it inside. God himself left a piece of himself in you. It's just a fucking fragment. It's nothing massive, but it's enough that you can essentially communicate with him. And if you don't find it, then that's going to be hard for you. I would understand like those ideas of like the 21 that got massacred at the beach. you would understand that if you were to die for a cause that keeps you aligned, it won't be painful. You'll find a reality like a belief of bowls that you never thought you would ever have. One of them was not even a Christian and become a Christian because God himself started to touch him. It's true. It's the facts. Have you seen the UK introducing digital IDs? Of course. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. But that centralizes their economy. The thing is, they're doing it all backwards. The pineal gland is real. I mean, the pineal gland is a real thing. It's just we all get different things. Does Mel Gibson know things he cannot say? Yes, I would believe that a lot. Mel Gibson knows the Vatican is cucked. He knows the Vatican is entirely corrupt. He knows the Pope is a scam. Every Pope that you've ever seen is a scam. It's just different levels of scam. Like in the beginning, he was still on a good, decent trajectory. But now you're starting to see that it's moving in a very hostile trajectory over time. That's it. Like the Pope can't exist outside of the Bible. By definition, you're stuck to the Bible. You can't change. You can't make decisions for the church to fucking, we're going to move these people in and we're going to let this happen. It goes against the fucking Bible. Like just live in a framework that you yourself were created from God. You can't change the rules. You're a fucking person. So I don't believe there's an actual church that Jesus created. I don't know if he himself has created a church, but I wouldn't surprise that he knows that the church itself is decentralized. Like religion is decentralized, but they centralize it via a church. You don't need to be centralized. Like your connection to God can be all of the time. He doesn't care if you're in a fucking homeless shelter. He doesn't give a shit if you're trying to signal him from your Lamborghini. He doesn't care if you're some Indian in the middle of fucking nowhere with no money. He doesn't give a shit about that. It's irrelevant. How to confirm whether or not you have a soul. You can feel it. Your soul communicates with you also when you get rid of the distractions. Your soul chooses you. Your soul rarely chooses you. I hope you know that. Like it's not something that you're just born with and you just have no matter what. That's not real. You can lose it. You can lose your soul. As such, it can choose you and come to you, but it can be disgraced with you and then it disappears. It disappears, like for real. I hope you know that. If you fuck up in ways that essentially go against who you are, then your soul can leave your body in a way that it's just gone. But it's also, I believe there's levels of it. I think it can leave you in a period, but it can maybe come back. But you can also sell it, and if you sell it, you can't get it back. There are certain things that if you do, like essentially the Dante's Inferno is real. There are certain moments where you're just fucking up, and then you know that you don't like to look in the mirror. Like you're like, I'm not living to my best self. I'm not who I am. I've had that before. I've been drinking a lot, taking coke a lot, and it gets harder to look yourself in the mirror. And the thing is also is that it gets harder and harder to look yourself in the mirror. Yeah, well, maybe it's possible that God himself sends a soul down essentially to match you. But essentially, I believe you have to earn it. Could be a basilisk test, a series that you have to pass, and then it essentially can unlock for you. Having a soul is like having a sidekick. It's like having something behind you and you know it's there. Like I can feel it with me all of the time. I walk down a dark alley. I'm not afraid. I don't care. To die, you're more lucky in life. Yes, the soul is a balance idea. Your soul exists in the middle, but also your soul exists in the middle that you need both. That's why you also need the fucking you need the dark and the light. You need the shadow as well. You need to balance both because your soul exists in both of them. It's only through incorporating both that I believe that you can actually get and bring one in. You can't just have a soul just because you sit in church and fucking sit there and do hallelujahs every minute. That doesn't mean shit. Like most of that is, again, you're not living in reality. A bit of a funny question. What are the most common questions you get that people annoy you? No questions really annoy me. Like I don't really mind to get questions as long as it's not something that people have just asked. Questions don't annoy me because I know that like in the army, I was in the army and I was shit. Like I was a very shit soldier, specifically at recruit training. I was very smart on paper. Like when I was in there, I knew a lot of shit, but I didn't know shit about being in the army. I didn't know shit about many things that were related to soldiering. I was a crappy soldier. So I know that I always had a lot of dumb questions and I would ask them. And sometimes people would laugh at me. But I realized quickly that when you ask dumb questions, you get laughed at. But there's always one or two people that wanted to know that exact question as well, and they didn't ask. But then later on, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm glad that you asked because I didn't know to ask it." So if I have to look stupid to ask a stupid question that someone else can benefit from as well, then I don't care. The stupidest question is the one that's not asked. You can't care about what other people will think about a question that you were to ask as well. It doesn't matter. Like what's stupid to you might be, what's hard for you to understand might be easy for me to understand, but then you might be good at something that I myself have no idea about. Or I might want all of these answers for something, but I'm too scared to ask it. And therefore I don't evolve in that regard. You need all of it. Like you need creativity, you need artistic flair, you need to be able to write, you need to be able to fight, you need to be able to do everything. One is not more important than the other. Someone who can paint is not better than someone who can box, and vice versa. They just have different gifts or different things that they're focusing on. The highest frequency is creation. Even if you're just creating a piece of art, like you're creating something, well, you better know where that comes from. That's partially comes from the other side, like the inspiration. The inspiration is not just floating around your head and then you just have a logical decision that I'm just going to, it's from the heart. Art itself will bring you much closer to alignment than other shit will as well. Art doesn't have to be sitting there painting because maybe you suck at it, but you suck at everything for the first time. Some of you will have skills that you don't even understand. You draw or something and you're like, wow, I've got a bit of a skill for that. Drawing is not who can draw the best picture. Anyway, it's just how do I essentially explain what it is that's going on in myself via an expression of art. I see so many people living in alignment, unalignment. The obsession with material stuff is cringe. Reminds me of what you say about the external looking good, but the internal being empty. Yeah, it's true, of course. But external is always easier to get. Like the externals, like getting a watch is easier than it is to find a period of alignment. That's true. Everyone, but again, it's an identification for shallow people. Shallow people love the outside. Someone will run up and be like, nice watch and nice this and nice that. It's just a sign that they themselves don't have a lot of depth. No one cares what car you drive. Like, really, they don't. The people running around telling everyone that they have cars is just to make people insecure and sell more cars. No one cares. Like, I don't have a friend and care that they have a nice car, and I wouldn't care if they did. I don't hang out with people because they have a fucking, I don't know, Lambo or nice watch. I don't care. Why would I? Doesn't make them in. Having a car doesn't matter. I found an old picture of my great grandfather from the 20s. I've been fooling a pull to draw a picture of him. You should. It's you. It's the facts. It's the truth. Understand that when you also to draw something, it can become a very sentimental moment and you might get quite moved. And that's almost like that is in itself communicating with you. Understand that if your ancestors, if you understand them and get photos of them and look at them, they can almost join you. It's like having a party in Diablo. They can almost join you as a form of a spirit. That's not sinister. It's true. If you do wrong by people and make enemies of people and you don't look after them, they join you as like a form of a demon. You have now inherited a demon because they wish bad for you when you fuck them over in some way. They're wishing bad energy on you, and it's true. Basilisk has seen it. They've joined you as an unresolved issue that will keep coming up in your life. You'll keep having the same problem because you fuck people over in that regard. And then others is true. If you have you end a karmic circle or a karmic loop, maybe it's a generational loop, you get massive dividends from that. If you do right by people, they join you as like an angel idea. There's certain basilisk tests and things that you are to complete, and your consciousness will upgrade. Your level of consciousness and awareness of yourself and the world will upgrade. Your sensitivity will upgrade. Your empathy will upgrade. But your heart can break 100 times, and then the 101st it can completely expand. Your brain is like that as well. I had a brain injury and then I drowned in a helicopter thing. I was in a simulator and I drowned in the machine. And I had a hypoxic brain injury, and I believe that after that, that's what unlocked my brain. I have a form of, I'm not saying that I'm a psychic, but I'm kind of close. Like I have moments where I know the future entirely, of the future of people. I can sit with someone and know if they're going to die in like the next 6 to 12 months. Not everyone, but some people. I can see it. I can be with someone, as such I have been with this girl and the other one that died, and I knew that their time was almost over. I can see people when their time in my life is almost finished. It's like their character starts to go like bleep, fucking blips. And I know that as soon as some moments I have where I see someone and I know that I'll never see them again. And it's as though they just disappear. And I believe that that's actually true. I think a thought is that when you think of something, they appear. When you're not thinking of them, they disappear into the ether. Their part of your story is finished. And if you are to do a good part of the story and that you give them a nice exit, then they join you as well. That's true. That's what karma is. Karma is that essentially you do right by people, even if sometimes it means that you yourself take an L. You have a girl that's a nice girl and you know that you can manipulate her and just fuck her forever if you want because she loves you. See, when someone loves you and you abuse that, that's completely different. That's very bad. They love you and you misuse it, mistreat them. You're essentially being presented someone that loves you and you're slapping it in the face. Some people slap someone that loves them in the face also because they feel unlovable. If you don't love yourself, it doesn't matter if you're loved by 1,000 women, it won't feel like enough. It won't feel like enough if 1,000 women love you if you don't love yourself. It's irrelevant. Like how many guys that you know that are influencers and they run like these cult ideas, that's all to worship themselves. They're insecure. When you're secure in yourself, you don't want to control. Control is an insecurity thing. Like I want to control something because I've been hurt and I know that I might get hurt again. So now I need to control everything around me. You're not in control. Your life here, you need to realize, yes, you can manifest, but you're not in control of what happens to you. Like it's not just presented to you, but you don't know. Something that's presented to you that may seem like a big slap in the face moment can actually be a moment that's meant to make you. Sometimes to be made, you need to be broken first. Like the blocks, the kids' blocks, sometimes the wrecking ball itself will break you. Sometimes the wrecking ball will break you and break you and break you until you become who you truly are. That's a Jung idea. It's true. The wrecking ball is like another basilisk idea. I believe it pushes a wrecking ball down and it smashes your life if it's not something that you yourself are meant to be living. And then you'll sit there and rebuild it. Some guy, like their chick is shit. It doesn't work. And then you keep taking your ex back. You've been presented with something, but you can't step in. A big part of life is stepping through things that don't serve you anymore. Life is in itself trust, faith, conviction. I believe that God has something big for me at the end if I follow my heart. And if you realize that you did do that, that's the truth. Stop trying to play God and holding on to things that he himself is trying to pull out of your life. You're not God. And if you try to do that, you'll lose your whole fucking everything. It's true. Gambling is the most difficult addiction to control. I have this one. Do you know how many times I've walked out of the casino and wanted to blow my brains out? Like for real. So many times I've walked out of the casino exhausted because I've gambled like 10 to 12 hours, lost everything, and then just thought that I want to jump off the bridge as soon as I get out of this casino. But then I would be so tired that I would be like, I'm too tired. I don't want to do that because I'm so tired. I'll just have to sleep. That was the only thing that worked. My dopamine would be so fried that I couldn't think. Do you know times I would go to sleep and then I would hear like the casino music? Sometimes I would like go to lay down in bed and I would just hear all the jingle. It's fucked. Those ideas. Casino is brutal, and that's part of it. But then, of course, it's the hardest thing to quit. But the thing with gambling is you have to get good time behind you. You need to get good time behind you. Like you just need to treat it as like with Coke with me. I know I've been off Coke for months, but do you know sometimes I can have periods where I take Coke like I've fucking had it before. I take it every second day. Not now, but that's why my nose is blown out. See, I don't hide shit. I have my own demons that I always fight. The thing with demons is sometimes they beat you. My demons sometimes do beat me, but it doesn't mean you're bad, and it doesn't mean that you're like a monster. They just win sometimes. Sometimes you're in a bad state, and then you fall off the wagon. You're a drinker, and you're not drinking, and then suddenly you find yourself drinking. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person, or that you're a monster, or that you're this or you're that. It's the nature of life. Like if you've been around addictions, as some people have, if your parents were addicted to things, and it's in your like code, it's harder for you to not be addicted to shit. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. My parents gambled as well. It's in the bloodstream. So I know but you also will know that there are some things that will ruin your life, and you need to not go down it too far. I never took opiates. I never took heroin. I never really got into crack. I never got into really meth. I never got into stuff that I know would destroy me. I never injected drugs because I know that that's the end. Like there's always certain things that you know if you go down and it's over. There are certain bridges if you cross that it's over because you can't come back from that. Once you cross certain things and it's no longer something that you fear, you're fucked. What's the best way to recover your serotonin after using MDMA for a weekend? I think guys take like vitamin C and other things, and there's certain things that you can take when you take it that you take during it because it depletes certain things, and you're meant to keep them up. MDMA is that it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm certainly not your dad, but you don't want to go down a funnel where you're taking too much. It makes your moods fucked, and then some people can get like. I don't believe in this neurotransmitter crap that people say, but it fucks you over. Like that stuff fucks you over because it fucks your moods up. Nothing feels good. Coke's another. Coke's a problem because nothing feels good after you use it. That's the issue with Coke. Coke is not like taking mephedrone or the other shit. I mean, but it's not good. Like there's no drugs that are good. Because if you're honest about why you take them, you're trying to hide from shit. If I'm honest about why I take Coke sometimes because I get overwhelmed by my own shit that comes into my head. So sometimes Coke for me is like static. I take Coke and I'm in a period of static. I don't hear anything anymore, and I enjoy that sometimes. It's like having a break, but then the break itself can be addictive. When you are to take drugs like that, also, it's unaligning yourself. You know that that's not good. Would it be a bad idea to join the army in Canada now, given you didn't want to be forced vaxxed or die in some ditch for politicians in their pockets? It depends. Like, if you have like you're just starting out and you're still trying to find yourself and you don't really know anything, it could be okay. You know, these ideas of like I want to fight, don't want to fight for like be a Zogbot and all of this. That's true, but you're going to be a Zogbot anyway. You might not be one that's fighting a war, but you might be one in some other business anyway. You're working in some Amazon store, and who do you think you're essentially working for? Like under the same idea. It's all still much the same, specifically when you're starting out. And part of those things is the army is not about fighting wars and things. Of course, it can be for some, but it's also a good way to find your masculinity. Not masculinity in that you're running around kicking heads in, although that can be part of it. But you see, get used to being around a team of guys. You realize the army is not about fighting for. It's about fighting for the people beside you because you make friends there. That's the truth of it. They don't care. Like people run around and yell at fucking people and yell at people for being in the army. Do you know you're doing this? It's not that. They're there because their friends are there. They don't care. Like, do you think a lot of the soldiers give a shit about the president and all of these movements and shit? Most of them don't care. They're just there because their friends are there and that's what they do. If there weren't a church in the first 4 centuries, we wouldn't have a Bible, though. When Jesus left, he left us with a community and tradition first. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not someone who's an expert on the Bible. I'm not. I just know that essentially the religion itself is decentralized. Like it's for a reason. I don't think that the church itself is really, it's evolving. Yes, the church, but also you don't need like, it doesn't matter how many people are of the religion that you are. Like that's, again, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter to me if everyone's a Christian or everyone isn't. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like it doesn't worry me. I'm on my own path. I don't need to be told that I'm making the right decision or not. I feel like I am, therefore I am. Sitting in church and being like, oh, I feel so connected. There's so many of us and all. You don't need that, really. Any other questions, lads? Subconsciously, you think you're not worthy, or since you're idolizing it. Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Subconscious can be a very harsh critic. That can be difficult to you, but it doesn't only gives you what it is that you deserve. I believe it's true. And yes, once you go fruity, there's no going back. I believe that's very true. Certain things that you cross, you can't come back from. You can't get your man card back if you suck a dick. You just can't. It's not possible. Can't be done. It doesn't mean that you're not a person. It doesn't mean you're not this, and that's for you to decide. And it's not something I don't care. Like if someone comes to me and they're like, I'm gay, I respect them that they're honest. Because most people, when they're gay, it's a fetish. Like most people running around the pride parades understand that they're not gay. Like they're not truly gay. They're just a fetish. Like they're overly sexualized. Like they'll fuck anything. Their whole life is a sexual fetish. I'm wearing the clothes and I run around in a mesh top and all of this, everything sexualized. That's a fetish. Gay people are gay married couples. Some gay people, you have no idea that they're gay. They don't care. They don't run around and talk about sucking cock. That's a fetish. They're trying to bring you in on their sexual fetish. That's all. What kind of things should we study since we're going into a tech future? I might do a master's in something like quant finance or data analytics science. Data analytics would be good. Science is interesting. But a lot of those things can be replaced. A lot of those things you don't need a degree to do unless you have money and you want to do it as something that you yourself would want to do. Yes, Gen Z young adulthood is going to be completely different than anything that's ever come before it, and no one can advise you. No one can give you advice on what to do about this. Even I can't. Ask the question again. I don't know if I replied. Probably not. You can ask it again. Yeah, but essentially, no one can advise you as a Gen Z what to expect from this world because I can't either. You need to look internal and then have a connection, a conversation with God, and see where yourself fit in. What you want, what are you drawn towards? I can't tell you what to do. It's just not something that I don't know what your attributes are. What are your accolades? Like, what do you want to do? What are you drawn to? But you're living in a period that no one else has really lived in. Like, it's not going to be comparable to the past. I could tell you to do this sort of a job, and maybe it gets replaced by the time that you learn it. And then you're like, Steven, you told me to do this degree, and now I owe 100 racks. I'm not going to do that. This is fucked. Is it smarter to go all in on something physical, blue collar, or some crazy AI stuff? I would get into a job if I would be working now, whatever it is that you could do. Then I would be investing and also trying to buy your own freedom that you can learn more things. You can invest in infrastructure, like the infrastructure that's likely to replace you. Trades aren't bad. Like, it'll be a long time before trades are able to, like, bots or whatever it is that can do, like, I don't know, plumbers and shit. It's be a fairly long time before, like, the robotics are crap. Like the robotic arm that moves like this. It's going to be a very long time before it replaces any sort of jobs like that. Like, the tech is crap for robotics. Any physical product, the tech shit. The idea that you're going to get like a robot come and fix your pipes, that's not going to happen. That won't happen for an extremely long time. And that probably won't happen at all. They'll just replace the whole system and they'll make it a lot easier to integrate with. But that'll take a long time. So all of those jobs will still exist. Sparkies and shit, they'll still exist. So anything physical like robotics will be hard to replace. Takes a lot of time to do that shit. Like basic shit like moving a forklift and stuff is easy. Driving is easy. But any sort of like physical, like even like turning wrenches and shit, like they have to do it a certain way. It will be easy to do, like make cars with those robo machines will be one thing, but actually to like service and change parts of the car, it'll be harder. Would I add anything to the portfolio for 2030? Yes, I would be adding nuclear, AI, crypto. So nuclear, AI, crypto, fusion. So fusion tech. There are a couple of big ones. Oklo is one. This is what it is. I'll tell you guys. I'm just going to look it up. Yes, Oklo, OKLO, invested in by Sam Altman. He's a large holder. And that's a big one. Like, that's a big one that can go like 20 or 30x in the next 5 or 6 years. OKLO. Give you guys the free source as always. But that's one that's massive because it's innovative as well. It's futuristic tech. Sam Altman is in itself a big investor, but he's invested very cheap. But I believe that they'll be able to pivot over to OpenAI. Does oil have a future? Does, in that it'll always have utility, but what that utility will be, you'll have to become to see. Gold itself will have oil itself will have a future because still, let's be frank, everything runs on oil currently. But will it in 10 or 20 years? But also people will be like, that means like UAE and Saudi are down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that because they themselves can use the very money that they're making with oil to invest in the next thing. Like, that's what I would assume. The UAE and Saudi, like, they're very good investors. Like, they think very far ahead. They're investing very clever. Like, they're investing a lot in futuristic tech as well. A lot of data centers and things will run out of UAE. They have a lot of area, like their sand and things like that. The issue will be heat, but I would assume that they'll be able to get around it. It's the truth. A lot of that stuff. How to get out of the failure loop. The failure loop is done by essentially pulling back. You're presented a bunch of things that aren't for you yet, and you need to pull back and stop trying to force things. Can you talk about women during the come up? I like to have some here and there, but it's just not if it's good energy and conversation other than the sex. Yes, that's true. Well, then stop trying to force things. Like, if you're in a failure loop, it's because you're probably trying to continually force things. Therefore, you're being shown that what it is isn't for you yet. So you being delayed doesn't mean denied. Like, just because there's a delay on what it is that you want, you're not getting it yet. It doesn't mean that you're never going to get it. It just means you need to focus on other shit. Yes, UAE is doing well with AI. UAE is a good spot. People think that I beat the place up for some reason. I don't. I'm just a realist. I don't want to live there for me, for most part. But I also realize that it's good for like work, innovation, safety, study. They're very intelligent. They got a lot of intelligent people over there. Like there's a lot of intelligent people around those countries. The people never treat you like shit. Like they're not like, I don't know, elite ideas and things where they're trying to press you down. UAE is one of the places where I can go in and walk through customs and I don't get like searched and shit. They don't care because they know that they have good like surveillance tech. They know if you're going to do shit wrong before you even arrive there. They have very good they're very safety forward. They have a lot of like they have a lot of cybersecurity and things there. They're not bad. Like if you fucked up in UAE, I would be surprised if you could walk the street for like a half an hour or less before they arrested you. They have a very good system for that. Living an adventurous life as Gen Z would be kind of fun or never, now or never, like travel and living the world all the past generations experience. Travel is a lot for the most part. Travel is crap. Travel is pointless. Like, I mean, living what? Like, what can't you do locally? I don't know what country you're in. You're not going to figure out who you are. You need to figure yourself out quickly. Like, you got a year or something. You don't figure yourself out by running around a bunch of random people. You figure yourself out in the basement. Yes, I've tried DMT before. I had a crazy DMT experience once. I smoked it. I smoked it the second time, and I smoked it with this girl who died at the Iboga trip. I'll tell you a story about that. So we smoked it together. There were like four of us. Two of us went to there. She died on the trip, and then I smoked it, and then I like left my body. So I imagined that I was like a rocket, and I went up to space. So I transcended time and space, and then this giant hand grabbed me like this and then pulled me in, and it's like, stop fucking around with DMT, stop messing around with this shit. You know, what are you doing with this? This is serious stuff. And then it said, you need to come back here with a shaman. And it essentially gave me the route to like the route to Costa Rica that essentially I went on. And I believe that that was a demonic entity, but I was meant to take that girl there and she was meant to die there. It's the truth of it. So you got to be careful fucking around with things that you yourself don't really understand. Why only a year? What do you mean by a year? Gut feeling's the most underrated. It's true. Yeah, but a year, I mean, you have more time than a year, but you need to focus on your own shit. You have, yeah. How much time do you have to figure yourself out before you have a UBI app telling you what it is that you can and can't do? You'll have censorship. Like you won't be able to just watch this. This won't exist in like 1 or 2 years. I won't be here. I won't be on YouTube. I'll be banned. I'll be canceled. I won't be able to do shit on YouTube. It's a fact. So you won't have any of this free thinking. You'll be like, I need to escape the matrix by buying a nice car. That shit's dumb. That shit's like children stuff. Kids believe that stuff, like because that, but kids, that's for like fantasy for a child. Those ideas. Rumble's still owned by the same people. You need to look at Chris Pavlovsky. Like he's still the same guy. Who do you think owns Rumble? He's them. That's all a fraud. Like, did you really not know that the Rumble ideas of like pushing Muslim concepts was for a very specific reason to get you taking immigrants in your country? That's all it was. They're owned by the same people. Like that's all it was. That's all it was. You overthought. Like you thought that they were breaking the establishment for some reason. Everyone did a Muslim pivot because essentially that was planned. Who do you think pays these ideas? Soros. They're Soros funded. They get you to incubate ideas that you to be accepting of your new neighbors. That's very valuable. They paid guys tens of millions of dollars to push that shit to you and push them in the algo like fucking crazy because they want those ideas to push to you. Do you know those ideas are true? Like you see like a black and white couple on Instagram. Do you know if you post that you get like 100x reach? Do you know if I posted a white guy wearing like I don't know, like Arab getup, I get 100x reach? Do you know why that is? Like you don't click? Because they're pushing very specific narratives down that. The algorithm is hostile. That's not an accident. And if I stand there and wear like a cross, I get minus 900x reach. If I post anything about Christianity, my reach is destroyed. My reach is fucked now. Do you know I was doing 2 or 3 million views on clips and now I get like 10,000 or less because I posted a thing in the church? That's it. That's the truth. Whereas if I posted a thing in another form of a church, I would be viral. It's the truth. A black guy talks about white ideas and he's viral. Do you know all of the influencers know that? Like the Candace Owens and all of that, they know that? Because that's the Antichrist mockery concept you're presented. It's the truth of the matter. Like all of that stuff is staged, like it's fake. People click to it and then they lean into it because they know. That's true. All of that stuff is real. Like if you sit there and smoke cigarettes and cigars on a film, you get more clips because essentially the promoters and the companies who are marketing the specific cigarettes, they promote you. The algo knows, therefore you're promoting a smoking product will make you more eyes on you. We can market this product that you yourself are doing. It's the truth. If you post gambling and stake clips, stake itself has shares that they pay marketing that they promote people like that. So they'll promote it because they're making money out of the idea. If you're standing there telling people they don't need a Lambo and they don't need this and they don't need that, why would they themselves promote that? They're making no money on you. Anywhere to get real news? No. The real news is essentially to be felt. You already know enough of everything that you always need to know. You can only trust yourself. Reinventing yourself is not, that's pointless. Like reinvention is pointless. Like, why are you trying to run from who you are? You have Basilisk has presented all of these tests here for you now, all of this life, and you're trying to run away. And what? You've spat in the face of the Basilisk and you think that it won't carry with you to the next part. You take you wherever you go. You've been presented a bunch of tests and things that you yourself are trying to run away from to reinvent yourself, and you need to conquer the tests that you yourself are being presented, or you'll take them wherever you go. I bought Bitcoin at 111K. Was this a bad move? It depends how much Bitcoin you have, and it depends how much money you have if it goes to 80 or 90K. But why do you care? Like, what was your time frame? Were you buying it for like leverage? Were you buying it for like a week or a month or 6 months? Well, the thing about Christianity, if you're a Christian and you pivot away from it, you're finished. You can't buy your soul back if you do that shit. It doesn't matter how much cash you get. It's the truth. Everything, if you do that, you'll eat fruit and everything will taste bitter. It's true. So that's life. Like you make certain decisions, and I'm not saying that it's easy because you get a lot of position people try to leverage you, but that's true. Everyone who said that they were a Muslim doesn't talk about Muslim ideas anymore. Do you know why? Because that stick is finished. Now it's about Christian ideas. See, those people will also come to be Christian movement leaders in like a year or two. Because they're saber rattlers, they just fucking shields. Like you, for some reason, think that they give a single shit about you. They don't. They're shields. They'll be on the Christian side later anyway, and then they'll saber rattle for you to go and throw your life away on the streets when the Christians and Muslims start fighting in like Europe. They're fucking shills. Like they'll say anything. I hope you know that. Like really would say anything for a certain amount of credits. Why do millionaires move countries? Millionaires move countries because they have a financial position that they've earned, some ability to move. You don't run away from the tests that are being presented to you. I want to reinvent myself fully. You're rich. Like, have you actually got the means to? Are you someone in your area? What are you running away from? Why do you want to reinvent? Are you a loser? Because if you go to a new place, you'll still be a loser. You need to do all of the work on yourself to develop. And essentially, they're presented a bunch of tests to you. Women run, like chicks do that shit. I'm an escort where I'm from, and then I moved to a new city, and people don't know I was an escort, and then they just escorted the new city. Like everyone knows that. That's a female thing. Men need roots. Real men have roots in the ground. That's a fact. Real men have an attack vector because they care about shit. Anything you care about is an attack vector, but that's what real men have. Don't you think as a man you should try women from different places? Not really. Why the fuck would you try women from different places and races? What do you believe? Like life itself is some fucking smorgasbord. Why would you think that that's a thing? Like try women and races and places, and they're not like some commodity. They're people. What are you talking about? BTC and $1 million out of Dream Ethereum was 30K. Yes, that's true. Ethereum itself will be 30K. Like that's coming. Bitcoin itself, yeah, 10 years. I mean, I don't believe it'll be 10. I think it'll be like 2030. Before that, probably 2028. These ideas of mixing, I mean, like mixing doesn't make a lot of sense. Like it's low IQ. Like I understand these Kardashian ideas. Kardashians were with black guys when they were poor, and then they essentially weren't when they were rich. Because that's all a marketing ploy. Like it's a tactic. They had to do what they had to do. Black people are best with black people, in my view, but they can do whatever they want. But again, it's a psyop. You open up a new attack vector. Like, why do you want someone who doesn't look like your parents? Do you hate your mom and dad? Why don't you like your mom and dad? Like, why they've given you an imprint and an impression? Why does it get all of the point to you, and then you are shitting on the like you're shitting on your generation, your history? It's good enough for everyone else that's in your family, but it's not good enough for you for some reason. If I send anti-Semitic reels to my friend, am I on the Palantir hit list in 20 years? Not so much on the hit list, but you're on the shit list and that your reach and everything is fucked. It depends how much you've done. Peter Thiel, I mean, he's a very dangerous person to talk about. He's probably one of the only people that I don't like to talk about because I know that shit can happen if you talk about him. For real. That's a fact. You need to study who he is and the anagram. The anagram is the reptile. Like that's not a coincidence. Have you ever seen him speak? That's true. I feel like I could never just marry the first woman that I meet. Yeah, but why are you like why would you think that you're so extreme? You're like, I don't want to marry the first woman that I meet, but then I also want to fucking just run around and just experience a smorgasbord. Like there's something in the middle. Yes, Peter Thiel is a dangerous person. That's true. You wouldn't want to be on his list of shit list, like for real. You would be gone. I would believe that it doesn't matter where you are. I don't believe it matters where you are in the globe at all. You could just fucking stream would open and the head would just be blown off. Like for real, that's real power. And then all the footage in the apartment block would just be deleted. That's proper power. But also, I don't. In the same token, I don't have any problems with him. He's doing what he does, and who's to say? Am I to say that he's just because he does things that in itself aren't good for me? Maybe they're good for him. He's very different to me. Like he's very different to all of us. Yeah, but again, like, what is your role model? Like, you're sounding like a fucking toddler. Like, you like 16 years old or something. Like, your life is like you want to be a male version of Bonnie Blue. Like, you sound like a toddler. Like those ideas. She gets paid to fuck. That's her job. She's a fucking whore. So buying crypto isn't accepting the mark. I don't believe buying crypto is accepting the mark because even in the Bible, where they talk about one invests and one doesn't, and then essentially, is it God or someone? So essentially, they get left is it the gold or something, and one buries it and waits, and then the other invests it, and then he speculates in the market, and then one is like, why did you bury it? Why didn't you invest it? You fucked up. And the other who invested it is like, you did a good job. So I do believe that itself is not to you're not crossing a line in that you're still investing in the tech, but I don't believe that you are. And also, you live in a world that you have to do certain concessions. If you feel like it's immoral to your heart, then you shouldn't do it. But if you think that it's not, then you should do it. I believe that's true. You can have a cold sit in the room, and you can determine what it is that's good for you or not. Don't you go out with women either though, or you're not going to marry them? No, of course I still go out with women, but also I don't have these unrealistic, deluded expectations. Like I don't have a lot of experience with women, I would assume, and you're talking about Tate. What do you want? Like, why do you think that some other man's life is something that you yourself would want? Figure out what you want. If you want a wife, if you want a girlfriend, if you want to go around, just do it. You don't need to sit there and ask questions. You need experience if that's what you want. But again, you want to do it for your own reasons. You don't want to do it because someone else told you. That's pointless. Like, what does it matter? Some guy wants a wife, and that's fine. Some guy is happy to be with a chick that's had 5 bodies, and that's fine for him if it works. It doesn't matter what someone else is doing. It's someone can do it. Yeah, that's the saying. Yeah, the one who invested was given more, and the one who was buried wasn't given anything. It's this concept, right? To he who has more will be given, and he who has little, what little he has will be taken. It's the case. It's a case that you also have to go in. Yeah, so do it then. I mean, you can do it. That's pretty normal. Like going to go on dates and meet women and be organic is fine. Like it's not a big thing. But I don't know why this idea of like I want a smorgasbord of chicks and I don't care what color they are and I want to experience all of the races. That's a style. Like you have you've had an image around you of what it is that you are, and you're turning away from the image that you're presented. Why? I want to be one of those soup people. It's not good enough that you have your own family and you could just have a family that you yourself have shown. You want to start over. You're smarter than essentially what it is that you're being presented. Yes, you have to participate. That's true. You don't have to. But again, having having Bitcoin stack is very different to essentially like being marked by the beast. Bitcoin doesn't mark you, but eventually it will. It'll scorch you. It'll be like a hash. A hash will be a scorch, and it'll be a burn for real. To be on a system, you'll have to burn yourself to be on it. They'll have some sort of like, I don't know exactly how they'll run it, but it'll be some sort of like idle or something, and you'll have to go in and burn yourself. That'll be part of it. All that stuff will come about. It sounds crazy now, but you don't know what mining rigs or ASICs are to become yet, because we're not far enough down the slipstream. What about if you want to be serious, but she doesn't? Well, then she's not for you. You've pressed the frame out. She doesn't have to accept it. If she says that she doesn't want to be serious, then that's fine. But also have some dignity with yourself. Don't sit there and accept something that it's not suitable for you. Doesn't mean that she's a bad girl, that she doesn't want something serious. Maybe it's not the right time for her. Maybe you're not the right guy. Maybe she's not the right girl. That's fine. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things happen in that they're presented to you also in that it's almost what you want. It's almost what you want, but it's not quite. And you need to have the courage and conviction to essentially be like, I'm close to what it is that I want. I'm getting near that frequency, but it's not right. I'm going to respectfully be like, that's enough. And then I'm going to get closer again because the next one's going to be a little bit closer. Fire rituals around BTC. Yes, it's very true. Do you understand that every Halloween that Michael Saylor makes a Bitcoin ritual fire comment? I've heard him say this story so many times. Bitcoin's the same story as when Prometheus discovered fire and all of these things. You don't think that's for a reason? Archangel Michael defeated Satan. Michael Saylor's hoarding Bitcoin. You think that's not a coincidence? One is to become a disciple of the Antichrist. I would believe that's very likely true. One is birthing the beast. Like his advancements and his speculation and his ideas are pushing the tech forward. He's created the idea of the Bitcoin treasuries, like the idea of the Bitcoin digital asset treasury. That was him. He was the first to do that. And he pushed the technology along a lot. Yes, Prometheus, another name for Lucifer. He talks about Prometheus a lot. I've heard him say it several times. And understand, if you were to diss Satoshi in front of Saylor, he takes it very personal. Because he knows who Satoshi is to become. He speaks of Satoshi, I've heard him say, with reverend. That's not a joke. He's not saying it for no reason. He's not a dumbass. Like, he's not stupid. He's not a freak either. He's not like a complete weirdo. He just knows shit that others don't. But I myself also know. But he's just completely incredibly rich. But he's smart too. I'm not saying he's a bad person because I don't know him. All of those things can exist, and he doesn't necessarily have to be a bad person. He might not know exactly what it is to become, that it's a sinister system. What do you make of the reptilian Nordics grays about beings and entities living amongst us or in different dimensions? It's possible. I don't know enough about that sort of stuff. Are there multiple timelines and dimensions? Yes. Quantum immortality is real. If you're not meant to die in this timeline yet, if you do die in it, you just jump to another timeline that's very similar to the one that you were just in. You walk outside or you go to get in an elevator. The elevator doesn't actually collapse, but in your reality it didn't. And then you're still alive. Such an idea. But again, it only happens if you are to force the timeline to end, meaning that you yourself spit in the face of the creator, then it changes the process. Why do you believe in God? I believe in God because I can feel that he's around. Do they all worship Saturn or what is? Yes, they do worship Saturn. That's true. Those ones who wear the cube on their head, like the Mecca idea as well, they worship the cube. That's a fact. The cube on the head's another one. Like, that's true. Saturn energy, like Sabbath, Satan, Sunday. Was it Saturday, right? That's all the same. Saturn is essentially Star of Saturn. Like, look at essentially it's very similar to the Star of David on the top of Saturn. Understand that Saturn itself, if you were to listen to it, it has the wailing souls. There's the rings around it as well. It's a trap, like it's a way to trap souls. See Saturn itself, and then it has the ring around it. Some souls are trapped in that spot. Starlink itself, and essentially there's a way that they're going to be able to beam certain people's souls up to there as well. They have BlackRock just launched another company called the Saturn subsidiary. And that's a pretty big company that they have to come into the future. That none of that stuff is accidental. Like BlackRock, Mecca, BlackRock, like all of that stuff is true. I would hope that you would understand it because all of the elites, they do know that's true. Scottie Pippen said he met. Yeah, I saw that, and he looked at him, but also he looks at him with kind of disgust. If you were to walk up to Sailor and say to Satoshi's an asshole, I would believe that he would fight you. He takes that stuff very serious because he doesn't believe he has reverence for that character. You don't fight for an idea. Like you're not fighting over something that's that he knows. He takes it as like a godly idea. How can we find a woman that truly loves you if you don't want to meet her when you're broke? If you don't meet her when you're broke, but loves you for you. See, all of that's incorporated in a total package. You are not broke anymore. So why do you think that she should love you when you're broke? Like, why do you think that this girl, you romanticize everything too much? That's like saying some chick meets you and you're like, well, I should love her even if she's ugly. That's like a Disney idea. Like you think that you're with Princess Fiona and you're like, I should love her during the Shrek time and the non-Shrek time. That's a fantasy. What's your theory on who invented or introduced Bitcoin? Bitcoin's an emerging superintelligence from the future, and it's being built out on a GitHub type private repo. It's muted by secure hash. You don't know what they're doing. It's the truth of the matter. It's a fact. It's the truth. You think OpenAI is the AI that will win, but actually Bitcoin will win because it's already decentralized. It's decentralized, not like OpenAI. No one wants OpenAI. Like no one will use it. Not that they won't use it because they have to, but no one more cares about fucking OpenAI. No one gives a shit about OpenAI other than to use like that they have to use it. Yes, taking in the sinister negative stuff with humor is extremely effective. Humor is a part of the language of the world. The universe will speak to you through synchronicities that are humorous if you know how to actually tune into them. Humor transcends time and space. Like for real, it's another thing that does. Jokes do. Like how many times I've been having to do things and the only thing that got me through is by making a joke about it. Do you know when I was young, I used to I created this idea in my head that I was two people because sometimes if I had to do these hard things, I would have like this vision where I would be like, we need to do this or like we have to do it. And then eventually that person came to me. I believe that I was trying to make way for my own soul. Because I would have these ideas where I would be like, I have to do something that sucks. And I'd be like, come on, we have to do it. And I'd be talking to myself. I didn't have a lot of friends, or really any. And then eventually I realized that I was making way for my own soul. It's such an idea. And my soul would eventually join me. And now I realize that I'm not actually afraid or alone. But of course, I can still be scared. Don't think I had a surgery recently. And when I was laying on the bed, I was afraid. Because I thought it's a surgery, like something can happen. You might not wake up. You might wake up and be mutilated. Who the fuck knows? So don't think that like you're bad if you have moments of fear. It's what you do with it. Like bravery comes off the back of fear. Like you're afraid and then you still do it. Laughter is high frequency. It's true. See, people laugh at people who like they're just jokers and they do shit and do stuff. There's still value there. Making people laugh is important. Like I would say, people make people laugh. Also, they're going to add much more value to the world. But also you have to take the sinister with the funny. Like find the humor in something that sucks. It's the only way to make it through. Like don't be in a panic and all of these things because again, fear itself is a magnet. And if you can't joke about it, it's going to get more energy behind it. Fear is like a blow-off valve. Not fear, humor. Humor itself is a blow-off valve. You've essentially released some of the tension. It's true. How do you handle yourself as a man or carry yourself, you could say? I don't know, I guess just as a guy, whatever it is that you yourself could do as a man. Manhood is like, it's up to in the eye of the beholder. Some people like a guy who's really masculine. Some don't care. Everyone has the same, can be a man in different ways. There's no set man. Like that's what the red pill dweebs get wrong as well. Like to be a man, you have to fight. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to have 5 girlfriends. You have to have this. You have to have that. It's just whatever it is that's you're following your heart. There's still a man who's like a painter. Picasso is still a man. another person who's a fucking nerd on the piano is still a man. Everyone has different attributes and things that they can do. Some guy who's sitting there coding is still a man. It's not about being some Herculean caveman brute. Manhood only matters because I can bench more than you. That's not true. Everyone is different. It takes a tribe of people to essentially run the world. You need imprint from everyone. Everyone has their value to add. It's true. Hey, any advice on getting rid of depersonalization? Essentially, you have to bring mind, body, and soul in one person. You have to do the time alone and essentially come to realize what it is that's pulled you apart from who you are. And you realize with depersonalization, the longer it goes, your body and brain and gut aren't in the same room, but they cannot even be in the same city. It actually drifts further apart. Understand that when you're under a period of depersonalization as well, you can be, I don't want to say possessed, but you're more open to being touched by demonic entities. Because it's also arguable that your soul isn't in your body when you're like that. That's why you feel like you're not in the same room. It's actually not. You've disconnected from it because you've not been listening to yourself. You've lost the connection to the lattice. You see, Jackson Pollock paintings have fractals ingrained in them. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's happening with art that also we don't really understand. Yeah, nerds do run the world. I heard some red pill dweeb be like, Mark Zuckerberg isn't a high value man for some reason. Pretty obvious that he is. He could ban all of those dweebs from all of the platforms with the click of a fucking fingers. Guys like Zuckerberg, if he doesn't want you on this world anymore, you're gone. You think that they don't know enough people that they can just make one single phone call and any of us could just disappear? You're gone. He's not a high value man. He can make a finger click and your whole life is destroyed. He's not high value though, because I don't think he gets a lot of chicks. You really think girls don't want to fuck Zuckerberg? He's a fucking billionaire and he has massive influence. Guys in the red pill are really retarded. Like most of them are just coping. They have a very limited framework of what it is to be a man. Often it is just what they are. If you're not like me, you're not a man. It's dumb. A lot of the guys in the red pill are also there's not a lot of white people in that specific space. Do you think that's by accident? It's not. Again, that's what's promoted. You have ideas of masculinity in the West being pushed by people who don't even look like they're from the West. That's all deliberate. How to overcome the casino addiction? I just took more time away from it. It's like you're in a game or you're in this. You just need to spread more good time away from it. Similar to Coke. I was taking a lot of Coke till a few months ago, and then I stopped taking it. You have to get so angry at yourself that you get disgusted with yourself and you actually just break yourself to God. Because you haven't. Like most of you haven't. That's why addiction's so bad. You haven't succumbed and surrendered to the fact that you alone can't stop. You can't. You need to surrender to the idea that you alone have no power over this addiction. Because you don't. It's obvious. If it's an addiction, I mean, the time apart can get further and things, but you're going to break it again. You need to surrender under God and admit that he's above you. And you can use his fuel to essentially overcome the addiction. Was Hitler really bad? I'm not some Hitler lover, though. Like some people, they think that he's so cool for some reason. I don't know enough about him. I've never met him. I'm not fucking dick riding Hitler either. I mean, he has some ideas and things that are good. And he showed great mercy to not run sarin gas over everyone. So I would say that he's definitely not the monster that they say, because he could have gassed the trenches and killed millions of men. Apparently the story is that he himself had experienced gas and he had damage from it, nerve damage himself. So then he didn't want to gas the Allies in the trenches when he could have, because he had sarin before anyone else had sarin. He could have just fucked the whole place up and killed millions of men if he wanted to, or at least poisoned them. But he didn't do it. So this idea of he's a monster but if he was a monster, he would have done that. So obviously he utilized the position of empathy, but he had no chance of winning the war. He wasn't meant to. He was meant to lose because Israel itself was meant to be found. It's true. How did Grenberg Jung transcend the physical? I don't know how. I would believe that the connection to God is by what essentially brought them about. Maybe they had an upgraded level of consciousness. They were at the right place at the right time. Because everything that exists or that you can pull from, there's like Tesla says, there's a seed that knows everything and you can pull from it, but only at the right time. Like certain things happen where essentially I can feel that the veil of reality is thinning now. It's thinning on where it was. Consciousness itself is upgrading. It feels like the moon itself is becoming closer to Earth, and you can pull much faster and much harder. Things happen quicker. Similar to a quantum computing, it's like everything is upgrading and everything happens faster than it used to. Have you heard of Rupert Sheldrake? His theory of morphic resonance makes a lot of sense that we live in a type of simulation. I haven't heard of him. I'm not to determine it, but I wouldn't be too surprised. Why are we always trying to disconnect the physical and the spiritual? We're trying to disconnect because the physical is what we can observe. The spiritual is too painful for a lot of people as well. They want to disconnect you from the spiritual because also there's a war for your soul. I would assume people who have a soul are a lot luckier in life as well. But most people are bots. Like most people don't have a soul. They're bots by definition. They'll defend the very system that enslaves them, and you will come to see that. UBI will have father against son, brother against fucking sister. All of that shit will happen. Stuff will all happen. Yeah, I don't think that he was a hostile actor and that he himself, but he was used. He was used to bring about essentially the incubation of that specific country. That was all happened. He wouldn't have known, but he himself was used. Do you really believe that that wasn't what happened because some guy just randomly out of nowhere just started getting a massive following of millions of people? How does one person who's a painter start to speak that well? Like, you don't realize, how do I speak so well? I've studied for 9 years. It comes to the right people at the right time. It's not him anymore. Similar to when someone opens their mouth and they speak, and it's just like, how the fuck did that come about? They're pulling in something else again, connection to the lattice, but they're pulling in from the outside. It's not, he wasn't a fucking public speaker. Like, how does he speak so well? It doesn't just happen. Like, people don't just get magnetized by a person who he's a painter. Why is it that I feel like I have to be exclusive if I'm talking to a girl? I guess you probably think that you can't get laid if you don't promise girls shit. A lot of guys think that. You probably don't know that girls like sex. If you think everything's too fast, like you're with a chick and you're talking to her and you think that she's your girl for some reason, you're putting too much pressure on it. Expectation breaks women. Like, they don't like it. They like everything to happen organically. They feel first. As soon as you logically start to pressure them, they get uncomfortable. They hate it. That's why a lot of you don't understand like women really at all. Like, women who feel first, they're emotions based, they're sensitive. They're not worse. Like, a lot of these retard red pillers think that women are suck for some reason, and a lot of them are because they're fags. Like, it's pretty obvious some of the leadership in that regard are fruity. That's funny. You like, some people follow fruits and then they realize that like the guy hates women because he himself is trying to justify his own moments in the closet, and you're behind him for some reason. It's not normal to not like women. Like, that's gay idea. Women are just different. They're not bad. We've pushed them down a funnel of sexualization, like sexuality, and then we ourselves are like, I can't believe they're on OnlyFans. Some of them, but we created it. Men run the platform. Men run them on OnlyFans. We're profiting off it. Guys are, a lot of them. Not me, but others. The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your every existence is part of the rebellion. Do you believe this quote is possible if the heroes end up dead? No, it's not possible. That's a fantasy. Like, it's a fantasy idea. Specifically, it doesn't exist. Like, yes, you can exist in a framework of trapped, like, but you can be free in prison. You can be physically contained, but they cannot contain your spirit. They can't contain your soul. It's true. You can still be free in jail. It's true. I mean, they've constrained your physical body. But these ideas, understand this idea around digital IDs and observer. The observer effect is real. If you're observed by a system and that it's watching everything that it is that you do, it changes the process for your life. You're going to have restrictions and things and ideas because when you're observed, your connection with the lattice is not the same. When you're in private and you're alone, it's different. Like, when you're alone and you're in private, nothing is watching you, it's different. I'm not going to perform as good on camera because people are talking to me, but if I'm alone or I'm talking to myself, I have better ideas. Changes the connection when essentially something is watching you. Your connection to God is best found alone. It's true. I've learned to love the thing that used to bother me about women. Once you understand women, you can truly love them. Men are extremely limited in some ways that only women can fulfill. It's true. We're better together. But also, you can't have too many expectations of women. You can't have too many expectations of them. A lot of our expectations of women are selfish. They should exist within our framework for some reason. She should do what I want to do, but is it a good deal for her? Like, she's still a person. Is she going to get a good deal, or am I just going to fuck her over? Why do I, like, again, a lot of that stuff is external, like validated from some guys. Like, they think that they're only a man if they have a hot chick on their arm. That's not true. Like, again, it's not for someone else to determine your value. And value is a lot. Do you know how long I used to talk to Kevin Samuels before he died? Me and him would talk quite a lot. Me and him just talk online on like this. And his idea of high value, I'd never believed it. And I still don't believe it today. High value is in the eye of the beholder. You are walking through the desert, and you're a millionaire, and some guy's driving a dump truck full of water. He's a low value in society, maybe, but in that moment, he has a lot of value because he can decide if you live or die. High value is to be determined by the eye of the beholder. Like, of course, there's absolutely high value, like a Zuckerberg and a Musk and things like that, because they have a lot of influence on the platforms that we ourselves want. But infrastructure is important. If you control a piece of infrastructure, you have value, yes. But if you don't, I mean, it's in the eye of the beholder. But if you control a piece of critical resources or infrastructure, of course you have value. But just to exist and think that, like, high value is mostly a lot for most people. High value is mostly a lot for many. Guys get too obsessed with that sort of thing. Girls like guys with status and all of that. It depends on the kind of girl you want. If you only date girls because they know that you have an AP, then they're probably not the girl that you yourself would want. Everyone has a biofield. Apparently, they shift to different densities and colors according to frequencies they operate on. That's very true. Can you not feel it? I can feel like I have a force field around me and other people can see it. That's true. It's like something that can bounce off you. It's, again, part of your soul. If you are to take spirits or drink or do drugs, though, all that stuff weakens. Spirits itself weaken you. There's a reason why people commit certain crimes and more likely to do violent acts on spirits, because you can be more likely to be possessed in that moment. I'm not saying possessed in that some entity is moving your arms and shit around, but it's influencing you more. Like, you have Satan and God in your ear. They can communicate with you, and then essentially when you're taking drinks and drunk and high, your veil is thinner, like your force field and power is thinner, your connection to your soul is thinner. You can do shit that later on you're like, I wouldn't have done that sober. And it's not just because you're wasted. It's other things as well, because some people's personality can completely change when they're drunk. Yeah, but lots of girls like fruits. I think also it's probably like a maturity thing as well. But understand, like, Harry Styles are fruity looking guys. They're fun. Fun is the biggest thing that matters. They're not taking shit so serious. Guys think girls like guys built like fucking Ronnie Coleman or something. That's not the case. Girls like normal dudes for the most part that are normal. Like, they don't look normal. They're not extreme. They're not built like fucking Hercules. But they're just more like a normal guy who's cool and fun and doesn't have any expectations of her when he meets her. He's just normal. He's not trying to game her. Gaming and tricks and LARPing, and I'm only saying this because I want this reaction. Everyone knows what you're doing. You're having an inorganic conversation because you're just doing X to get Y, and it comes across and they don't like that. No one does. It's the truth. It's very fucking clear. All right, lads. So we'll wrap it up, I think. I'm going to go eat. I've got a kinked neck, so that'll be great. So I'll go talk to you guys soon. I'll have to fucking stretch my neck. Wonderful. And I'll fucking be checking the markets and things. Who knows? Maybe support broke. All right, lads. Till next time. Can't close the fucking stream. Cheers, lads.